Welcome back, everybody. In Pennsylvania, another community is reeling after what prosecutors describe as a cold-blooded ambush on police officers. A stalking suspect turned a quiet neighborhood into a war zone, opening fire and killing 3 officers, as well as wounding 2 others. Being a police officer in this country is still an incredibly dangerous job, as we are seeing rising political violence in the country as well. And we know that President Trump and lawmakers have been beefing up security in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination and mounting threats to them. We are even seeing Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt receive security from the Secret Service. So joining me now to talk about both of these issues is a Marine Corps veteran as well as a retired police officer. He's running for Congress in Nevada, Keith Hanoff. Keith, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You know, I look back on our recent history and those who fomented hate and violence towards police officers, and I thought that at this point in this country, you know, especially since having President Trump back in office the first term and then again this time around, I thought that we would be a lot further along in healing that, but we're not, are we?
No, we're not. We're quite far away from that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you as a...
I would like to just say thank you for having me on this show, and I would just remind people to pray for the officers and their families.
Absolutely. And for you as a retired police officer, talk to us about the impact that, a life in blue had on your family.
It's very stressful for your loved ones. Every day they give you a kiss goodbye when you go to work. You go to work, you dress out, you get in your uniform, you handle calls for service, not knowing which one's going to be violent or which one's just going to be something repetitive and tedious, I should say. Too often, our society forgets about the victims, and that's the number one reason officers are out there. And I don't know why, but very often it's the left. They just simply forget the victims. They celebrate the suspects. And the officers in this case saved this woman's life. He was stalking her. He was unhinged. They had an arrest warrant. They went out there to take him into custody, and he ambushed them. But yet, on the left, they keep pushing for the defund the police officer movement. That doesn't make the police officer safer. It doesn't make the community safer. My experience, whenever they defund the police officers, they cut training and they cut technology and equipment we need to be safe out there. Now, you couple this with their soft on crime policies, and I don't know why they have these soft on crime policies. I don't know if it's a misplaced sense of empathy or virtue signaling. I'm not sure. But it doesn't make anybody safe. I have no doubt that if this shooter had been wearing a dress, the left would have a picture of him up somewhere and celebrating. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. When you look at the political divide in this country, especially in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination, and I was talking to Dr. Ben Carson about this in the last segment, I don't know how we heal from this, because you've got people on the left who are demonizing people on the right to the degree that people are literally getting shot and dying from it. For you, running for Congress, what do you see as your role in Congress and kind of healing that?
Well, we need more dialogue. We need more men and women like Charlie Kirk.
Sure.
He wasn't scared to go out there and communicate, even with people that hated him for false information that somebody else said about him. He was a great man. I watched him most of his career. I think we on the right need to have much more dialogue. Now, do I think the left is going to listen? Personally, no. Honestly, I don't think they can. I think if one leftist is able to communicate with us and be respectful, their own party is going to push them out. As we saw in Congress recently, there was a vote to condemn Charlie Kirk's assassin. I don't think a single Democrat supported this measure. They either voted nay or they sustained. The mayor of Chicago just recently said that law enforcement in jails are a sickness. I think once somebody in the left actually stands up and becomes a leader for their party, then the healing can start. But as of right now, they thrive on that negativity. We just, on the right, we just need to keep trying to reach out to them, talk to them with logic and understanding. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a while before it gets better, and I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Gosh, I hope it gets better really, really soon, because things just feel there's just a dark cloud hanging over practically everything here in Washington, and I know that you guys are feeling it all the way over there in Nevada. Do you think, Secret Service, they've already extended their coverage to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, and I kind of feel like, anyone that has any association with the Trump administration, or at this point, Turning Point, and any conservative organization at this point, let's just say we all need to have our heads on a swivel, don't we?
100%. I understand a lot of people are on edge right now. A lot of people are fearful. Politicians are hiring their own security from their funds, which should be going to getting the message out to their constituents. My entire life, I've had threats given to me or yelled at me or emailed to me. As a police officer, I got them regularly. People in prison that were not happy were threatening my life. Recently, I was on the news here locally, and people in the comments were saying they're going to kill me or revenge. Me personally, I think I can handle any issue that comes up. There's a lot of people out there that are not Marines and are not former police officers that, rightfully so, this is terrifying. And the extra security may help them feel more comfortable. But the main thing is we need to keep addressing the rhetoric that the left is screaming, yelling, throwing at us, because until that changes, these unhinged people out on the streets listening to them are going to continue to be violent.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. So, Keith, when you are out in your district in Nevada and you're talking to constituents and they are voicing their concerns to you, what's at the top of their list? Obviously, what we have been talking about, security, political violence, political weaponization. But outside of that, is it the economy? Is it immigration? What is it?
Honestly, it's the border. They want the border secured. They understand that President Trump did an executive order to secure it, but they want Congress to enact laws so it can't be changed once the next president comes in office and does a different executive order. I'm constantly talking crime out here in the West. Gun control is a big issue that comes up all the time. I was just walking different gun stores today and talking to the owners. They are very concerned about knee-jerk reaction laws being implemented. And I just have to remind them, we have hundreds of laws on the books for crimes with firearms. If people would actually hold others accountable for committing crimes with these firearms, we've got plenty of laws. We just need judges and lawyers and our city councils to hold criminals accountable. And of course, the economy always comes up while we're talking. I believe doing something about making America more fuel independent and dominant will lower those costs. So I've been talking to a few of the fuel and power industry people. They've got some great ideas to lower costs. It's just the regulations are not allowing them right now. Sure. So I think we need to do something about the overregulation.
Yeah, I think President Trump has his eye on that, and he's got folks like Lee Zeldin who are tipping him off on things like that need to be adjusted. So sounds like things are moving in the right direction. Keith Hanoff, running for Congress in Nevada. Thanks so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Bye. All right, everybody, coming up. We all know our age, but do you know your biological age? We're going to tell you how you can find that out and how you can potentially get it lower, too. That's next.